Today is the day we do our first dungeon. The last couple of episodes I prepared for this in the hopes I won't fail miserably the first minutes after entering it. With steel chain armor, steel weapons, bandages, spies, gears to restore my temporal stability, torches and dirt blocks to climb my way out in case I fall, this should be enough to handle the first expedition. Or at least I hope. But before we begin, by now you should all know the drill. Let's have a peek at those comments from last video. Gimbal the Man. That had to be absolutely terrifying and hilarious at the same time. I wished I was a fly on the wall to see you struggle like that. Squeedy92, coming from you, everything is. Vexter7, you are strong-willed as I did lose my mind. When it comes to RNG, I'm the king of bad rolls. Let's see if fate will be so cruel in the dungeons today. Alright, let's get into the video. Last time I packed all my stuff I needed for the long travels and dangers ahead. Luckily the trader wasn't that far, but unluckily it was a mountainous terrain in front of me which prevents me from running in a straight line. Besides that, the amount of bushes that are hindering my visibility is dangerous too, as I once died by falling down into a pit I didn't see. With this terrain, the risk of it happening again is high. Well, I say high, but the truth is it happened twice just running to the trader, but thankfully the pits weren't that deep and with the stack of dirt I packed, I can easily climb my way out. After approximately 20 minutes, I reached the trader and started the quest. To start a quest, you'll need to select the option, know of any interesting places around here. He will answer you that he found something huge with a ton of loot, but guarded by something big. But to get the map, a tin bronze pickaxe. Oh my god. Yep, deal isn't good enough for this one. He wants to have a tin bronze pickaxe. So I hop back on the road for another 20 minutes journey just to get back to my base. I forged the pickaxe and 20 minutes later I'm back with the trader with his damn pickaxe. With this you get the map, and when you right click it when it's in your toolbar, you can use it to put an X on your map to where the resonant archives are. In this case it was around 5 to 6,000 blocks south of where I was. So that will be a 1-hour journey, considering most of the path at the south is mountainous terrain. Let me fast forward this so you guys can skip all the boring stuff. The archives on the other hand were located on the top of a huge mountain which was unclimbable without any dirt blocks or ladders. So with the last amount of dirt I managed to get up there and find the entrance. However, before going in, I filled my belly with food, put on my steel armor and organized my toolbar for optimal combat use. I took a 5-minute break and then went in. Everything in here is unbreakable and you can't loot most of the items. So there will be no cheesing this area whatsoever. And I hope you brought some light because it's really dark down here. The first place you got to go is down. All the way down a rotten ladder and then follow the path until you enter a huge area with a strange humming sound. Here I got attacked by some drifters, but there weren't too many of them, so it was more of a mild nuisance. As you can see, most of this place is collapsed and some doors are even locked, unable to be opened by hand. So we'll either have to find a lever or another way in to open these doors. I went further in until I found some stairs that led me down to the first floor, where I found the engineering room. Here I found a lot of torches and coal, but the why was not clear to me yet. So I went back out and checked the other areas. There was a toilet room and a kitchen factory-like area. The chests here were filled with scrolls and a bit of ore and rusted gears. So all by all, it was not a big find. The unlootable chests on the other hand were filled to the brim with resources, so the trader technically did tell the truth, but sadly we can't do anything at all with all of this. It's like entering a vault and being told not to touch anything. You can only look. To me that is torture, and whoever this higher power is preventing me to loot, he can kiss my... Either way, after looking around a bit there was nothing of value in the other rooms, so I went back to the engineering place. The thing that caught my attention was the huge amount of coal that was lootable. And playing games most of my life tells me this is a hint of something we have to do. After a couple of minutes I found this boiler with an open hatch, screaming to be filled with coal, so I did just that and lighted up. This turned on the wall complex. Although the sounds made me clear that some parts are broken or missing, but how to fix them, let alone what to fix, remains the mystery. However, turning it on should have done something, and when I went back up, the bell workshop was open. Here I had two questions. What's in here and why the hell do you need a workshop for bells? However, my curiosity got answered quickly when a bell creature started to ring. That sound was ridiculously annoying, but the worst part of it is that it kept summoning drifters and locusts to me. So I did what I do best, not asking questions and just hitting everything until they don't move. And I got to say, this bell thingy was tanky as hell, as it required 20 hits just to kill it. After that I just had to clear out the remaining drifters and locusts, which was a lot easier without the annoying bell sound, and then I looted some of the chests. This area contains a lot of loot, but none of it was useful at the time, as my inventory was limited and most of these items I already had. The only thing I took with me were those rusted gears, as those were the currency of this game. At the end of the workshop, I found a big blue gear lying on the table, and something told me it was needed for the engineering room. So I took it with me and went back. At first I didn't really notice it, but the longer I stayed here, the more I started to see. I thought it might have to do something with daytime and nighttime, but after thinking about it a bit, I noticed that there were blue light sources lighting up. And where did I see that blue light source? Well, in the engineering room. By turning on the boiler, the whole instance started to slowly being turned on. This place is actually really beautiful. But there will be enough time admiring that later. As of now, I have to figure out where to place this gear. And by luck, I found it immediately. I was actually planning on right-clicking everything in this area, but that wasn't needed this time. I assumed that this opened a door somewhere else, but the door on the top was still closed. So it did something else. But what? Remains a mystery. However, with the lights turned on, it seems that there was actually a third floor down. But it wasn't accessible by the stairs. So I had to take a risk and jump down. And I wasn't sure if there was a way up. If not, I'll be stuck down there as I cannot build my way out. But hey, you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs. However, I didn't break a few eggs. I broke the whole chicken as I missed my fall and went all the way down. Luckily, I didn't die, but I had no freaking clue how to get out. It took me 30 minutes until I found the shaft where I could climb out, as it was really dark down there and I couldn't see anything where I was running. The panic I had from falling and potentially losing everything was slowly fading away, and it made me realize that there should be a way out, no matter what. The devs made sure of it, so I needed to have a little faith. I looked around a bit and I found a teleporter which brought me down into the mines. Here I got my ass nearly kicked by a corrupted locust and a nightmare drifter, however I prevailed and did die. As I didn't know what to look for, I just looked everywhere for everything. There was a lot of ore, but nothing special that I could take with me. However, behind a collapsed wall I found a generator with a pump I could take off. Although at the time I was panicking as I thought I broke it. After calming down and taking another 5-minute breather, I went back and found a way out through the reservoir. And here I came out in the kitchens where a lot of locusts kept spawning, so I just went back to the engineering room and again with luck I found where to place this pump. This opened another door, namely the library door. Here there was not a lot of room, but it did lead me to an area behind the engineering room where something was sleeping. And all my game senses tell me this is a boss room. And when I found the hole where it sleeps, I prepared myself mentally. Once I jumped in, there would be no way for me to get out. So it was basically do or die. So I shoved all my healing items into my inventory and jumped down. The boss woke up and the fight began. The boss had a couple of attacks, but the biggest one was the ground slam that throws you around in the room, giving you fall damage. So melee fighting him was not an option. The only other way to hit him was by shooting him with arrows. And luckily for me, I brought my bow with steel arrows and they did quite a bit of damage. The steel armor on the other hand did give me a lot of damage protection, so I was never in a real danger of dying. When I got halfway health, I just started bandaging myself and then started shooting again. When the boss reaches halfway health, he started to spawn locusts. And killing them won't help as they kept on coming. So I just flew around everywhere and kept shooting at the boss until it was down. After that I cleared the locusts and looted the boss's head. All by all, this was an easy fight as I probably was overgeared, but it was a fun fight nonetheless. At the end there was a door that opened up and that leads to the library. Here there is a small generator that can be turned on like the boiler, which reveals this beauty. And in the center you'll see an item that you can interact with, which gives you a hint about the lore and the tasks that comes next. With everything in hand, I climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor and jumped back down to the entrance of the library. Then I climbed my way out of the archives and ended this dungeon. All by all, it took me 5 hours in total of traveling, figuring out the puzzle and fighting the boss. But I did it. Now with the boss head in my inventory, and as the description says that it is something the trader would like to have, I know what to do. But that will be for next week as my time ran out. I hope you guys liked the video, and if you did, please leave a like, and for the fancy people out there, do subscribe. And for the people that didn't like it, well, I thank you again for wasting another 10 minutes of your time.